You're going to have to do something with that tune that's coming through.
Okay, turn it down a little, Glenn.
Welcome to another exciting edition of American Warrior Radio. The place to be. That's right, the place to be for news, notes, interviews, and current events for all issues, military and veteran related. If you or someone you know has ever worn the uniform of the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, or National Guard or Reserves, you've come to the right place. American Warrior Radio, right here on the Talk to Me station, AM 1300 WMEL, and online worldwide at 1300WMEL.com. As always, sponsored by AVET Project. Folks, this program is all about supporting our troops and their families, both past and present. So please, get comfortable. Grab a cup of coffee, maybe a glass of iced tea, and certainly a pencil and paper to jot down a note or two, because we're always efforting to bring you important information that you can use and share with others. With that said, let's get this show off the ground. As you all know, my name is Garen Cohn. I'm an Air Force veteran, a retired legal advocate for veterans, and founder of AVET Project. But you also know I never fly through the airwaves alone.
Good morning, I'm Glenn McGuffey. I'm the former manager of your Brevard County Veteran Services team. I retired on the first Wednesday in August, whatever that was.
Congratulations, Glenn.
And my brain turned to mush immediately. I'm also a retired Air Force, and would love to bring this show to you because today's going to be another exciting show.
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah, we've got some interview for you, and then we've got some exciting community presentations that are coming your way about benefits of interest to you and all veterans.
Some of it's free, folks, so you want to stay tuned for that.
But our favorite word is free.
That's right. What do you say we get started with a Bosun's call?
Sure.
On the line with us right now is your commander of the Coast Guard Station, Port Canaveral. Commander Perry, how are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing great.
Well, thank you again for joining us and all of our listeners, because anybody that listens to American Warrior Radio knows that they can count on a regular segment from the Coast Guard on some of the goings-on, and we just appreciate your time, especially since it's not one of your duty days, I don't think. You don't work on Saturdays. You're the commander, right?
Well, I work every day of the week, pretty much. Last night was an interesting night. We were pretty busy, but first off, I want to say that to AVET Project, you guys, I don't know how you pull it off, but you guys are awesome. That Coast Guard Day celebration we had last weekend was outstanding. I can't say enough thank you. You guys really put on a great show, along with the Navy League and the Coast Guard Auxiliary and Military Affairs and Fish Lips. We had about 500 to 600 people out there in that rain. And I tell you, I don't know how you guys pull it off, but everybody had a great time, and the crew and their families really enjoyed themselves, and we just want to say thank you for that.
Oh gosh, well, we appreciate that, and let me tell you, it's our pleasure, it's our honor to come out there, bring all our volunteers, because AVET Project's an all-volunteer organization, and just give you guys a little thank you for everything you do on a regular basis. We were celebrating a special day, though. What day was it?
It was Coast Guard Day. It was actually our 223rd birthday of the Coast Guard. And the turnout was incredible. That was the biggest yet. And like I said, with your volunteers, I think you had over 30-some volunteers out there serving food and being out there in the rain. And I tell you, it was outstanding.
Well, we had a lot of fun, and I mean, you had the place staged so nicely for all of the folks that came out to it and your vendors and everything. We had a lot more planned, but the rain, we got soaked, didn't we, Commander? I mean, we got...
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we got as many tents as we did, because at first I thought we had too many, but it worked out just perfect. We had the vendors covered, Navy Federal and all the folks from Orlando that came over. It was just an outstanding show of support, and I'm telling you, our crew really appreciates it.
And I want to say something about your crew, because every time we've gone out there on your station, your guys and gals are spot on. All hands on deck if we need any help. We came out to take back one of the tents that the Coast Guard generously donated to AVET project, and your troops came out and helped us load that up in a flash. It was just awesome. And we have something else planned, and you and I will talk about this offline, but we had a lot of games and different things planned for you guys and gals out there, so we'll be working on that in the future. But Commander, you mentioned you had a busy night last night. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I can go into it a little bit. It's still a lot of it's under investigation. We had a boat that was stolen last night, and once we got out there and started looking for him, there was nobody on board. So then it turned into a search. So we were searching pretty much all through the night, and finally the person was apprehended by the port police, and the suspect was coming out of the water over by the port. So it's still under investigation, but my guys were out there from about 2:30 this morning till sunup. I got in there about 7, and they were just pulling into the dock. So it was a long night for us and all those folks that are working in the port, the Navy and the Air Force security and all those. But it looks like we got the guy, and everything turned out all right.
That's good. Well, where was the boat docked at, or?
It was in the port. It was one of the fishing boats in the port.
One of the big ones?
No, it wasn't one of the bigger ones, but it was a small commercial fishing boat, and one of the guys, I guess, wanted to take it for a joyride or something. But like I said, that's all under investigation right now. But apparently we got the guy, and the boat's safe, and the port's safe for right now. So
That's one of your primary missions, is keeping our port safe and our waterways around here, right?
Right, and when you get a call that there's a boat running around out there, and nobody knows what it's doing, and it was out there pretty much going in circles whenever they first saw it, so we didn't know what was going on, and then finally when we came up to it, it beached itself, and there was nobody on board. So usually when you see a boat in circles, you think the person fell overboard.
Sure.
So it became a search, and with help of all the other partners out there, we think we got the guy, and everything's good right now.
Well, throughout your distinguished career, because you have, how many years you got in now?
I've got 23 right now.
Well, and congratulations again on your recent promotion. It's
Thank
well
you very
earned. What's kind of one of the weirdest or strangest calls you've had to go on personally? If a boat's going in a circle or something weird.
I tell you, there's so many. It's always, no call is the same. Especially when probably the worst call I went on was when I was in West Palm Beach as a small boat coxswain. There was I think.
For our listeners, hold on, B. For our listeners, can you explain what that is? What that rating is?
It was I'm a Bosun mate by my specialty.
Which means you're a captain, a boat pilot.
Yeah, boat coxswain is the boat operator, basically.
Okay.
The guy that drives the boat. It's kind of like a pilot.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I was a boat coxswain, and I got a call that there was a like 30-foot Donzi that hit a barge. All right, well, I had 6 people on it, and we were the first on scene, and this boat exploded. I mean, it blew into a million pieces.
Holy cow.
The barge was coming underneath the bridge, and they didn't see it, and just ran square into it, and they were going approximately 60 miles an hour, so it just blew the boat apart.
Wow.
And, it's probably one of the worst cases I ever been on. The 6 people on board were obviously dead at the time, so it was that's probably the worst case I've ever been on.
Yeah, that would definitely be one for the books for sure.
I'll tell you, one of the craziest ones was off of Puerto Rico. We're doing a boarding on a sailboat off of Puerto Rico, and we get on board, and we get first thing you do is confirm the passengers, how many people on board, and get the.
Do you do that before you board? Do you try and establish how many people are on the other vessel? Okay.
Right. You want to establish how many people are on board, and then you get on board and you confirm, the number and everything. So
Okay.
when we do our initial safety inspection of the boat, you go down below decks and you look around. Well, as soon as we open the door, we look under there, and all we see is a bunch of eyes in there.
Oh my goodness.
So we're thinking, oh man, this is a smuggling case. It's got a bunch of migrants or something on board. Well, it ends up they're all goats.
Oh my gosh.
Ghosts.
So it's ghosts on board this sailboat, and anyway, we call that in, and the skipper of the patrol boat I was on, he thought we were crazy, and we're saying, no, sir, it's ghosts. This guy's got a bunch of and stealing the goats off of an island off of Puerto Rico, which happens to be a national park.
Is that Viejas or?
It was Culebra.
Okay.
So it was out off of Culebra. They were taking these goats. So anyway, we got a goat bus.
Oh, that's bad.
Like a crossed out cocaine or marijuana leaf or whatnot.
Yeah, you got a goat symbol on your ship.
The joke was we're gonna have to put a goat symbol on the side of the ship. But, we actually had to go on the island and go across the island looking for more goats to make sure they didn't take all of them. So it was kind of an interesting case.
I guess so. So what's the status right now with the ships that are in port?
Is the Confidence out on deployment right now, Pete?
Yeah, the Confidence they went up to Jacksonville to go through their TACT and TISTA, which is basically they go up there and go through some drills to make sure the readiness of the ship, do some ship inspections. So they're going to be up there for a while. We still have the Vigilant in port, and the Cutter Strike is in port right now, enjoying some downtime. But the Confidence is going through some readiness inspections right now.
Any launches scheduled to come off anytime soon?
Well, we recently had the launch, the other night.
It was awesome. Beautiful launch.
It was great, and it was pretty cool because I took my son out there with me. We went out and worked the launch, and he's always been interested in that stuff. So I got to get him out on the boat and go out, and we did our safety zone and let my son drive the boat a little bit. So it was kind of neat for him.
No kidding. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
And for all those that haven't been regular listeners, you explained this some time ago, that part of your mission is to secure the launch zone out there on the waterways, make sure that if something bad happens with the rocket, that nobody down on the water in their boat gets hurt.
Right. There's a zone out there for the eastern range that they use whenever they make any launches, and of course, there's a flight path of the rocket. So basically, we ensure that the flight path is clear once they fire that rocket. So until it gets into outer space or until it gets out of our area, that no mariners are in the zone in case something goes wrong.
Very, very important. And I was listening to your goat story, and it reminded me of a song by the Doors, "People Are Strange." So.
That's true. Yeah, I tell you, that was crazy.
And I want to share, because you're always good about this, if folks want to know more about the goings-on in our Coast Guard, where can they go online?
Well, I tell you, you can go on to U.S. Coast Guard Station Port Canaveral. We do have a Facebook page that probably can see a lot of the pictures from the other day.
Outstanding.
On there, and it's kind of, we got some rules we have to follow, but we try to keep it updated as much as possible to let people know what's going on with the station. But you can also go to uscg.mil, which has great stories, Coastie of the Week, and actually they had one of the members of the Coast Guard Cutter Confidence on there, I think it was last week or the week before. So uscg.mil, great stories, and there's links on there for boating safety information. And also cgaux.org if you're looking for a local boating class.
Yes, and that's the auxiliary, because they put those on, correct?
Right, and the auxiliary is great. If there are people out there that want to get it, it's a total volunteer service. Those guys come out. They actually took over. They stand radio watch here at the station to help us out with that. They took over the radio watches over the weekend for that party we had, and they do a lot to take some of the burden off of our guys so they can get out on the boats and do their job.
And folks, if you go to cgaux.org, on the very home page, you're going to see promoting boating safety and stewardship since 1939. And then there's, like you said, Commander, there's all kinds of great ways they can learn how to take boating classes and safety stuff.
Right, and there's also there's a spot on there where if you're looking for one, I want to say you can put in your zip code and it'll tell you where the closest places that you can go to take the class.
Excellent, excellent. And Semper Paratus, what's that mean again?
Always ready.
That's
That's
our
Coast Guard.
guys. That's our
Always
Coast
ready
Guard.
for the call.
Anything else you want to say this week, sir?
Yes, sir. I want to say next weekend we may be having they're in the works to put a boat race together. It's kind of a super stock boat race. It's going to be just south of Jetty Park in that area. It's going to be the 16th, 17th, and 18th. We'll have LE assets out there and some auxiliary helping out with that. but it's pretty neat. I had a meeting with those folks the other day, and it's kind of like NASCAR on water because all the boats are built the same. They're not. You don't go out there and put the biggest engine on them. They're all basically like a NASCAR. So it's a stock boat. Outboard, they're all exactly the same. So it tests the boat driver's skills. So it's going to be something new. And then they also have a heat of personal watercraft that they're going to run out there. But that should be a pretty good event. You should start seeing a little bit more advertisement on it coming up pretty soon.
Excellent. And that's going to be out at Jetty Park?
Right. It's going to be right there just south of Jetty Park. Jetty Park would be a good spot to watch it.
Well, sir, thank you for mentioning that. And again, folks, you know that the commander comes and joins us on a regular basis with Bosun's call. So I really appreciate your time again this week, sir, and stay safe out there.
Thank you guys for having me. You guys have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great.
Thanks for your continued service.
Thank you, sir.
That is your commander of Coast Guard Station Port Canaveral, Commander B. Perry, with his regular Bosun's Call segment. Great stuff there.